Hi guys, welcome to the Craft Beer Channel. I'm Johnny. I'm here at Rococo in Marylebone for some beer and chocolate tasting. So I'm here with Sam from Rococo and Rupert, who you've met before. He's a beer and food matching guru.
We pretend.
We pretend, yeah, just for this purpose. So we're going to go down to their tasting room and we're going to really surprise you with, well, hopefully surprise you with what we can do with beer and with chocolate. So let's go on down.
Damn it.
Match number 3. This one is going to be a little bit more savoury. We're sticking with Innocent Gun. So what are we going to do?
Cool, so this one is a little bit more out there in terms of the chocolate. This is what we call Arabic spice chocolate. So this is a 65% dark chocolate, but then you've got some clove, you've got a little bit of nutmeg, you've got some cardamom, you've got some ginger in there. So even just from the smell of it, you get these amazing fragrance coming through.
And what's the beer we're doing?
So this is sort of the big brother of Innocent Gun. It's called Innocent Gun Bourbon Stout. So I use a lot more darker coloured barley. In other words, it's cooked more. And it's a stout with much more sweetness in it than most stouts. Much more sort of toffee flavours. So we're hoping it's got enough sort of gumption to it all to actually make mad passionate love to this wonderful chocolate. So who knows?
I don't want love being made in my mouth.
So with this one, basically, what we've got is when you're having the chocolate, the idea being that the chocolate is pairing with the actual stout itself, but then all of those spices, all of those fragrance, almost similar to like a hot toddy, to the flavours coming through on that bourbon and just balancing out with that. So it's a very complex but very cool pairing.
It goes instead of going straight head to head, which a chocolatey stout would do. Because this has a bit more sweetness, a bit more banana-ish character, it actually merges rather better with the chocolate. And the clove, I think clove is wonderful.
Yeah.
Both sort of commodities which really you ought to strip your shirt off and rub over your chest, because all the warmth of your body will actually release so many of those flavours. So rather than just drinking in your mouth, I think you ought to do it by rubbing over your body as well.
Your tasting tip is give it a rub.
Give it a rub.
Give it a rub first, then a bit of the chocolate go over your front, then maybe just massage a bit, rather like Henry Cooper did with Brut. Try to do the same thing, because then we taste through our noses as well as through our mouths. So rubbing it over yourself, I think, is the other option.
Right.
It's a good option.
As a chocolate expert, I recommend not to do that.
Okay. As a human, I'd recommend.
Yeah.
This is beer matching number 4. Rupert's gone off and had a cold shower. And we are doing his beer, which we've got a video for. Jim tasted it a while ago. If you want to watch that video, you can click here. Rupert, tell us about the beer and then we'll talk about the chocolate.
Okay, Mr. Trotter's Chestnut Ale. We're trying to make a beer which pigs would like, because the rest of our range is pigs, so pork scratchings made originals, then jalapeno. And so we thought, what would a pig like to drink? We thought, well, either it'd like truffles or it'd like chestnuts. We tried it with truffles and it was rather too sweet and sickly, so we went for chestnuts instead. So we brewed this beer. What we're trying to do is brew a some chestnutty beer. So trying to have sort of elements of marron glacé, the sweetness, lovely honey quality marron glacé. So we're using English Marisotto barley, we're using English hops, and then annoyingly, we're using French chestnuts. So there aren't enough in Britain to actually use.
So what we're going to match it with?
Well, basically, obviously, it's quite a special beer. We're wanting to get a special chocolate to go with it. So this particular one here is a 60% Grenadian single origin chocolate. Now, the Grenadian chocolate company who make this, we work really closely with. So it's a 60%, so it's still relatively light, it's got a nice sweetness to it, but you should get some really nice kind of soft fruity notes, but also a couple of soft nutty notes that should work well.
With Mr. Trotters.
With the Trotters.
It smells fantastic as well.
Try not to rub it on yourself too much.
That's later.
Yeah, okay.
So in terms of beer, what we're trying to do is have quite low bitterness, but enough bitterness to give you a bit of backbone. And then we are trying to get the sort of honeyed quality of the barley and of the chestnuts coming through. Just trying to make sure the beer sits there in the background. The bitterness provides a sort of full stop, I suppose. Trying to get a bit of the sweetness come through.
Okay, so we're on to the 5th tasting.
No, actually we're on the 6th one. I didn't want to point it out earlier, but yeah, missed one.
We're on to the 6th tasting. I need a lie down. We're going to start with a fruit beer, which is perhaps what you might have expected, the kind of thing that we're going to do. But we're actually going with one of the darkest chocolates yet. Tell us about the Leafmans.
Okay, Leafmans from Oudenaarde. in Belgium, right beside the canal, still has Gestapo bullets in these ironwork. It's a really old-fashioned brewery, and they open all the windows to make sure all the wild yeast come in to make sure the beer isn't too nice. So they're trying to make a soured beer. They use 2 cherries, Chardonnay cherries and Morello cherries. But what they're not trying to do is pretty smiley beer. They do not want this to be too nice. Age probably has best before of about 10-15 years. It's 6% alcohol. And
So does it improve over that time?
Yeah, and it drops its colour. So not like a wine will go slightly orangey around the edges with age. This is exactly the same. So I have this in 1.5 litre bottles at home.
So we didn't just want to go down, the most obvious one would be going down a cognac cherry route. Traditional cognac cherry, nice and easy. I know you still plead at me to do a cognac cherry as well, but this I just think is a little bit better. This is again from the Grenadian Chocolate Company, but it's a higher percentage, it's 71%. But what they've done on this one, if you just look on the back there, you've got a little bit of cracked Caribbean sea salt, just cracked on the back. So I recommend putting that bit on your tongue first, give it that little bit of saltiness as the chocolate melts, and then trying a little bit of the beer. And again,
oh, it's tough. Even did
that's
it.
good chocolate. Strong index fingers.
Oh, that might have been my thumb rather than the chocolate.
Yeah, you got there.
Now the salt comes through very well. So the salt again, rather the same way as the wild yeast make this beer slightly sour. I think the salt does the same thing with chocolate, doesn't it? So it makes it slightly more edgy.
Well, it's amazing because both of them, like this is very sour and very sweet, and the chocolate's very bitter and salty and then very sweet. And it does sort of come in waves. It's amazing.
We've got that soft, like red berry note actually coming from the chocolate, almost preparing you for that real hit when you're having your next
nothing
sip.
sudden, whereas you would have thought salt, bitter, sour, sweet would all go boom, but they're all just sort of blending in. It's amazing.